Nike is well positioned to weather a possible recession in 2023 thanks to its strong community of consumers. That's according to IMD, which has ranked the company at the top of their future readiness indicator this year. Well, let's get to Howard Yu, Professor of Management and Innovation at IMD. Howard, nice to see you, sir. So many interesting things in your reports as well. I hear what you're saying about Nike. It is a quality company that has a quality product, of course, oscillating fashions and trends, and it's trying to straddle real sport and those of us who wear real sportswear but don't do real sport as well. So, Howard, why is this company so good in your opinion?
Well, in many ways, if you're looking at Nike history there, of course, e-commerce is world-class. The supply chain, when it comes down to digital, is also world-class. But it is also a company that has persistence, right? So the result that we just saw right away, right now, is not just a one-off effort, but it really takes them 10 years to scale up that direct-to-consumer channel. And this is why I think Nike, alongside with Lululemon, really distinguished themselves, according to our ranking, to the rest of the apparel brands.
Howard, you would have looked at Adidas when you saw Nike and you looked at Lululemon and that and thought, it's just not cutting it at the moment. And we know Casper Rorsted is falling on his metaphorical sword over at Adidas. I love both brands. I've grown up with both brands. My family was involved with both brands. Why is Adidas doing so badly but Nike so well at the moment?
I mean, in many ways, it takes a little bit better than your competitor in order to be king in your industry in many ways. If you're looking at Nike, right, it's not just around e-commerce and direct-to-consumer relationship, and it's not just about hot merchandise, but it's exactly what you said earlier. It's building up that community with end user through apps, through digital channel, leveraging opinion leader, going into metaverse. This is not easy. It takes Nike 15 years to master all these holistic capabilities. So it's not just one CEO doing one gig can turn the company around. It's not that easy. It takes generation of CEO persistent allocation of resources, tough trade-off to make it happen.
It's very, Howard, I'm going to carry on this vein because there's other things I want to talk about. But then there are pitfalls of building up a brand and having exclusive brands, and then suddenly people thinking, actually, I don't need this brand. And Peloton is a great example of that as well. You've talked about Lululemon. We've got brands like Gymshark and Sweaty Betty in the UK, which kind of occupy a similar echelon as Lululemon. But Peloton is a warning for a lot of people. You can have a brilliant quality product as well, but if suddenly it becomes superfluous or the competition get their act together, it can be very troubling.
Absolutely. This is why in 2023, it's all about delivering today as well as winning tomorrow. It's not enough that you just have one quality product and forget about your strong, healthy cash flow. In many ways, Peloton never makes a lot of money, right? They barely break even. This is not the situation of Nike, where their core business remain to be relatively healthy for a long, long time. And this is where you don't completely ditch your core business right away, meaning your reseller, your third-party channel, is to grow your direct channel on the side with your core business. It's a balancing act. There's no shortcut.
Professor, you might have heard Steve and I having a conversation about who will go in to be the boss of Twitter. And I know this wasn't on your brief this morning, but given your role as Professor of Management and Innovation, I'd be fascinated to know what you think the best road to turning around Twitter is at this point, because you've got a product and a brand that doesn't seem to have a great business model, and you've got an iconic leader at the moment who is not wanted by the consumers of that product to run the business. What is the road out of this crisis at Twitter that Elon Musk has created?
I mean, picking a successor is the first step. If you're looking at Twitter, it's just not the right situation for Elon Musk to turn it around. I mean, Elon Musk is iconic and in many ways bring all kinds of new to the world innovation. But he's fundamentally a founder and a builder. He's not a turnaround expert in many ways. If you're looking at Twitter, they require a second lease of life, sort of a reinvention at its core business. And the chaotic leadership just doesn't quite fit. What Twitter is going through is sort of remind me about Microsoft back in the early 2000s. It required reset to generate regrowth. And this is a fundamentally repivot of an organization. Very different than Tesla and SpaceX is really riding on what they have and trying to scale up big. So it requires very different leadership style in the end. And so picking the new successor is the first step.
I wanted to just move you on to the pharma sector, because I know you've got some important points to make about how you spot winners in this sector. We've come through a remarkable 3 years where clearly R&D and innovation has shown its merits, and I think it's encouraged companies to go back and focus on those as drivers of performance and growth. Has the sector learnt the lessons well, and which companies in your mind look most exciting?
I mean, there is always companies that learn and companies who refuse to learn. And in the pharmaceutical companies or the sector itself, you see exactly the same dynamic. Like you said, because of the vaccine development, the mRNA, what we saw is a lot of the forward-looking organizations realized, well, there's a sea change in terms of the way we discover new drugs, not just vaccine, but also cancer research, treatment, and of all sorts of human disease classes as well. So you have the top-ranking companies such as Roche, AstraZeneca, Pfizer. They are the one who not just mastering mRNA, it's just a manifestation. Vaccine is just one of the expression. But it's this idea of mastering genomic, computational science, protein fold, all these new capability to bring new drugs along. And then you have other companies still trying to make more money. Their only purpose is to generate more money through drugs rather than the other way around.
Really nice to have you on, Professor. Thanks for joining us. Professor Howard Yu of the Management and Innovation Operations over at IMD.